Good morning and welcome back. This is Tuxedo Ian, and we are getting back to our playthrough of Book of Hours. We're up to video number 47, and when our last day left off, we spent yesterday doing basically nothing but improving transformations and liberations and quenchings and quellings using all the lessons that we'd gotten, so those are both extremely powerful skills that we can use now. So let's see what we can get done today. So we have a storm to work with today, so we are going to use that to make something. And we have an offer from Oriflammes. Oh, there it is. The second volume of Orchid Transfigurations, A Birth. The second volume of a compilation of quasi-Rosicrucian allegories, supposedly by Robert Flood. This is in the original Latin. Well, it needs 3 spentria. Well, we have a gold spentria, so we can afford that. And this will give us more lessons on resurgences and emergences, which we could always use. Because we are kind of light on Grail skills, and resurgences and emergences is only level 1 right now, so we probably want to level that up. So just in case we need one, I'll also start working on a second heart skill here, just to make sure we have an extra 2. Let's see, well, we can do the Newman, which will give us 5 points of hearts. That'll be more useful for crafting with. Alright, so there's our Wormwood Dream. Let's hope it is equally possible to forget this again. So now, today, we are going to get Mr. Kill and put him to work. Because he always loves sparing a few hours to help a friend. So we'll apply the Wormwood Dream, which will get him to Winter 8. And our options, we have Winter 13, Winter 13, Winter 11. So we're going to try and get him. We can definitely get him to 13. Because we have this Solomon's Preparation we can give him. That'll get him to 12. And then we just add a Whist, and that'll get him to 14. But do we open the cellar, or do we open the Stifling Chamber? I think we go up. We'll give him this Solomon's Preparation. So that will get him to 12. Alright, so there's our Memory of Storm. So now we can come over here and we can create something that is very useful. This drum is very useful for. So we'll add drums and dances, our Memory of Storm and the storm itself, and a core. Actually, we can use a Duandratic core because we have an extra point there, so we're not using up our big core. Drum up heart music. Drums and dances with scholar level heart plus an instrument creates the Thunderskins Paean. What is a Thunderskins Paean, you ask? Well, you'll see in just a minute. Or in a minute and a half, as it were. So there is our 5 points of heart that we can use for crafting once we're done. Don't think we'll need all 5, but just to have them in case. So now we can read On the Winding Stair because we have learned Ramsund. Gregory Wheelock, the master mason and architect employed by Walter de Wolf to construct the Winding Stair and the guest chambers in Hush House, describes a more ambitious and dangerous project. So we will grab Ramsund and apply that. Some books are to be tasted, some to be swallowed, and some few are to be chewed and digested. So we need knock, so that will be shapt. And then we can add preliminal meter, and we have flung this gate wide open, and we are a match for this book with 8 points of knock to match its 8-point mystery. And this will give us lessons in door and wall, which is currently at level 3. Forge and knock. Down to the Grushians. So now we just give him a Whist. We'll watch for what lies ahead. This will get him to Winter 14. And while he is doing that, we will grab our other Whist, our Inks of Containment, and a flower, our Moth Orchid here, and we'll make another Solomon's Preparation. because we're going to need another one to open the other room that we don't open today. My assistant and I will be prudent. Stifling chamber. No fires are visible, no scorch marks, no smoke, but this room pulses with sultry heat. My head swims as I approach the threshold. And so that is done. So now we can take Edict's Marshal and we can make ourselves another one of those. Start with an old wound. Edict's Marshal is probably one of the most useful skills in the game because of that little step up to Wormwood Dream like that. So our reading proceeds apace. And we are done with our Thunderskin's Pain. With Keeper level heart, the Pain is the precursor to Swaddled Thunder. Thunderskin's Pain, a song of joyous sacrifice. One heart, one grail, 4 heart, and 1 scale. It is music, or sound, it is a memory, and it can evolve via preservation. However, you notice it is not persistent, so we do have to either use it or lose it. But, luckily, we can just throw Drums and Dances back in. We throw in the Thunderskin's Pain, a core, and as we can see, Drums and Dances with 5 scale makes a Savage Hymn, so we need 1 more point of heart in order to get this to 15. Easily enough done. Actually, let's see here. Yes, we can use a piece of soul here. So what we'll do, we'll use a regular soul fragment, a core, the Thunderskin's Pain, the three rules, and together all of this gets us to 15 heart, and we can drum Storm Potential into the weft to capture more heart aspect. Drums and Dances with Keeper level heart plus a Thunderskin's Pain creates a Swaddled Thunder. As a Swaddled Thunder is labeled as a Song of Joyous Sacrifice. So we will take that and we will make a Keeper level recipe there and basically bottle that storm for later. Still a long ways away from getting to 16 Grail here. We have ways we can get closer, but it'll take a little bit to get there. Oriflams, thanks you for your custom. The Orchid Transfiguration's a birth. So we can come over here to Eva's desk. Add an Arab, and add the Great Signs and Great Scars. We need 1 more point. We can use the Spice Scales. And we can master this mystery. So there is our Solomon's preparation that we can use for tomorrow. And Mr. Kill has finished his work. He has opened up the Crucible Tower Governor's Quarters. In this room, the governor was Collars the artist, Collars the dreamer. It was a side of him that almost no one saw, especially when, after the death of his wife, he grew so much more solitary. That said, there is a connection to be drawn between his enthusiasm for sculpture and his ambitions for his human subjects. So we have Lady Tryphon, a very old portrait in the Byzantine style. A glass of Armagnac d'Is, and some arsenic, a poison sometimes known as the Message of the Swan. We have 3 nocturnal uncatalogued books. So we'll go ahead and grab those. We have a sculptor's bench, Labor Seriously, where we can make things with forge, lantern, scale, or knock. And we can use stone, wood, woven, remains, tools, or ductile. We also have another phonograph here, the Governor's phonograph. Callers generally preferred his devices as gleamingly modern as possible, but he preferred phonograph cylinders over the newer gramophone records. The cylinder, like the records, exemplified ingenuity and reliably repeated the desired sounds, but they also could be consigned neatly to a cubbyhole without causing any sort of fuss. This one can take rose, scale, heart, or sky. And we also have 2 more Curia books and an uncatalogued book down here, one that's already been cataloged, Towards a Fundamental Aesthetic, or The House of Glass. Julian Costley considered this his masterwork. This book houses a Newman, a truth so powerful it can perhaps believe itself. This one is written in Ericapean. It is Knock 10, so we can definitely read that, and it will teach us about glass blowing and vessel crafting. So, with that said, we can actually come down here. No, that's not a knock desk. We do have another knock desk around here somewhere. I know we do. Yes, we do. We have the Desk Vagabond. So we can ship our book over there. We need to read it in Ericapean. We need a Shapt. And then we need 5 more points, or we need 8 more points of knock. So let us see. What is our levels of what levels of knock do we have? We have Edict's Liminal that gives us 5. So that takes us up to 7. We need 3 more. The Enduring Reflection would give us 1, but that would kind of be a waste. So what we will do is we'll hold on to that for now. We need a knock memory. So we can come here. And we can read On Imperfections and get ourselves a knock memory with pattern. Okay, there's our old wound, which we can then immediately transform with Trist into a Wormwood Dream. And we'll catalog these books we found. A book from the Nocturnal period around the turn of the century. And we have opened up the top level here, the Charred Chamber. The iron door here stands ajar, but it still glows faintly red even after all these years. This is not a natural heat, and there is no entirely natural way to quell it. 14 knock, 14 moth, or 14 winter. Well, we already know we can get Mr. Kill up to 14 winter, so that's not a problem. And we have finished reading On the Winding Stair. Gregory marks the bricks of his Roost-Touch family home, Treowen with Ramsund, hoping to open forbidden doors. Gregory evidently succeeds in opening a way to something he calls the Moon Hall, but here his account becomes erratic. He insists that in the Moon Hall, the Horned Axe is still in edge power. He hopes for an eternal rival, but cannot find the one he needs. The narrative is increasingly interspersed with chess notations and ends abruptly. So that gives us a memory of pattern and a lessons on door and wall. So that actually speeds up what we were doing earlier. So we can apply a note for memory pattern on this. And move this up to our red shelf up here. And so now we can grab Towards a Fundamental Aesthetic, and we can get close, we can start reading it. Because preliminal meter gives us 6, so that brings us to 10. And we just have to add Ericapean now. I am a match for this book. Okay, so door and wall needs 2 more knock, or well, we need 3 knock memories. So we're crafting 1 already. So we need 2 more. So we can do Temptations of Architecture, gets us knock with secret threshold. And then we can do See Does Not Regret, because that also gives us knock, so that will allow us to get door and wall to level 4. And the book we have found is Curcubitt Prisoner Records 1928. Accounts by Governor Collar's private secretary of interventions and experiments in the last years of the Curcubitt prison, focusing primarily on the hill children, wild wood things that have found a shape in the physical world. 12 scale. That might be tricky to do, but we do have our in custom that has 7 scale on it, so I think we can probably get there. So let's see. We will catalog our next book. And yes, I know we could use the Enduring Reflection, but why would we? It's a persistent one. We can hold on to it until we need it. Alright, so there's our memory pattern. And then we can start cataloging another book at that desk. We have found The Intimations of Skin, fiendishly complex, weirdly distorted illustrations of Congress and Anatomy by the haunted visionary painter Niels Frederick Malsker. 8 Grail, and it would teach us about desires and dissolutions. Well, we already have that at 1, so that would be helpful to raise that level up a little bit. Alright, so we'll keep our core there and grab one of those 2 Curia books that was over here. From the 1700s to 1800s. Okay, that one is proceeding apace. We're almost done reading over here. There we go. So we dig door and wall, lesson, memory, 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 and our shaft. And improve door and wall to level 4. Then we need 4 memories for the next one. So we can do pattern 1. Secret Passage 2. Salt 3. And Forge 4. Sleep, O thou tempest, for now bow thy head. A swaddled thunder, a storm swathed in subtle threads, ready to be released with a few judicious snips. 6 heart and 4 sky, and it is a tool, but it is also a device. It will only operate once. If it's an infernal device, that means it'll explode, so be careful. And it's fabric and fiber. So this is basically our only renewable source of fabric in the game, is making Swaddled Thunder on the days when we get a storm. And as you notice, we transformed that a 4 heart and 4 sky into 6 heart and 4 sky. So we can definitely use that to open up some of those heart rooms that we have that have been taunting us with Mrs. Kill's help. I know we're going to have another heart room around here somewhere, and I know there's a heart room or something down here somewhere. But we have that, and it will stay around until we need it. Alright, we found The Locksmith's Dream in Cursus, the 5th and final volume of Teresa Gulmer's notorious work, which began as an examination of parallels of the mystic dreams of artisans, but became an account of her own occult journey. This volume was apparently never published, nor allegedly ever written. Yet, here it is. So we'll stick that on our desk for now. And we'll catalog this final Curia period book we have. And grab that one into our inventory then. And we'll set our Swaddled Thunder on the desk here to be saved for later. We've also found the 12 Letters on Consequence, Julian Costley's epistolary treatise on what may come after, addressed to his once friend Claude Hersault, the mystic and antiquarian. So this is a simple little book with only 4 mystery, and it's on putrefaction and calcination, so it'll only give us 1 lesson, but we can probably find a use for it. And here's our Wormwood Dream again. Let's hope it's equal possible to forget this again. So we can pop 12 Letters of Consequence and Locksmith's Dream and Cursus onto our unread shelf here. We have one more book that's being cataloged there. Night has fallen, so we will save our old moment. Door and Wall is now level 4. Power aspects have also increased. So we should be getting our memories for upgrading it to level 5 here within just a few moments. And we have finished reading our 3rd volume of the Orchid Transfigurations that we have. Blood, or Pseudo-Flood, suggests alignments between the alchemical tradition of Rubidoux and the older Grail traditions through the Pine Knight's quest for the Cinnabar Cup. Seek the cup in the birthing bed, the Pine Knight is told. The midwife at the birthing bed, to his amazement, is the Mountain Mother. In a fit of awe, he both gelds and flays himself. The vigilant storm bursts joyfully from the remains. Ow. That's quite a transfiguration, all right. So they've given us memory satisfaction and 2 lessons in resurgences and emergencies. So we will mark that with satisfaction. And we will put that in with the other 2 volumes over here that we have, just to complete the trilogy. Oh, we never did read this one. I completely forgot we had not read this book over here, The Chandler's Wish. So we'll stick this up on our unread shelf here. We must have been running out of room at the time. And we can put... Do we have room for Orchid Transfigurations? Yes, we do. 1... Nope, not enough room for all 3 volumes of it there. So we will put it here, so all 3 volumes are together. And then let's see. So I don't think we should start reading another book today just yet. We have plenty that are working already. All right. Oh, and we found the 3 and the 3 Karasham manuscript, a more recent version of a much older text. This book describes the operations of the Chancel and the Calyptra, the two triads of ours with subtle, far-reaching powers and responsibilities. It has been heavily censored, but even so contains potent secrets. So if you remember, if we look back at the other volume that we had here, of all the extant versions, this one has best survived the interventions of the Calyptra. So this one has been heavily censored, and it is only mystery level 10, whereas the one with a Newman is mystery level 18. But it still will give us some lessons on Edicts Inviolable that we'll be able to apply to other skills with either Heart or Moon, so that will be handy. So that will give us 2 lessons when we read it, because it is a level 10 text. And we have finished reading Towards a Fundamental Aesthetic, or The House of Glass. Julian Costley considered this his masterwork. Techniques for perception and analysis which permit invidious and apocalyptic conclusions. Probably the most assiduously suppressed book in history. The entire run was destroyed. Even the presses were melted and dispersed. But the manuscript edition has survived. The perfect hegemony of the hours is perhaps eternal, but Costley proposes and describes confinement inescapable, aesthetic and optical techniques which might contain even an hour, profoundly disrupting the order of the Mansus. He presents this as his own work, but there are hints here and there that he received inspiration or even assistance from the nowhere hour named Snow. Inescapable confinement. Everything ultimately comes down to a choice between eternity and history. There's only one place you're safe from both, and that's not a place anyone would want to be. It's a prison that can only exist in certain histories. Any librarian can use this to establish a history and complete the game, but the prodigal and the archaeologist can win a particular victory. So this gives us 5 knock, 5 scale, and 5 winter. Oh, how handy. We have that book that needs a lot of scale, so we'll definitely make use of that. And we also get 2 lessons on glassblowing and vessel crafting, which is currently at level 3, so we'll be able to level that up tomorrow. So we will grab the book again, and we will mark it with the Newman that it gives us. And then we will add it onto our Newman shelf. Going to get this in just under the wire. So we'll grab door and wall, our lesson, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. And a shaft. And we will finish that up and get that to level 6. And then tomorrow, we can work on getting resurgences and emergences leveled up. And just so we have it waiting, we will start. We'll need 3 memories for that, so we can start those now that we have our unexhaustibles back. So we can do satisfaction. And this needs moth or grail. So ambrosial gives us moth, so that's 2. And then moth or grail, we have grail, we can do grail. I know we have more grail stuff here somewhere. Don't we? Well, we have the Lake Fatina recordings. We can apply that. We'll go to the... We can use our core to read that, so that gives us 2. So 1, to... Yep. So that gives us our 3 memories that we will need to upgrade Resurgences and Emergences to level 3. Okay, and there goes our day ticking over. Ooh, we got some fog. So, moon and knock. So we can definitely use that to read this moon book, although we don't really need it because we have that 9 moon from Edicts Inviolable. But at that point, I think we're going to go ahead and take a pause and call it a day. I will see you all tomorrow. If you've been enjoying what you've been watching, please leave a like or a comment down below. If you want to see this series through to its completion, please subscribe, and I will catch you all on the next video.